Moyuba o, Moyuba l'Orisha.
Ago Ile Ifa local sọ̀rọ̀ dayo Orunmila bara ago ìlú Ile Ife ibi kiji Olódùmarè elaho elawaraho Ifa bawa ho mo fún ìgbàlẹ̀ bàbá any Sango Ile Ifa lade awo ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ the chief priest of Ile Ire Ifa temple come to Baba before you with awo Obedono àti awo Ofun Dando ago Baba also with many of Ile Ire Ifa temple. We come to pay homage to Orisha. We come to pay homage to Egni. We come to pay homage to Bobo and women of Joko Tool, to pay homage to Bobo and women of Joko Sing. So all of the Orishas on this new year, we come to pay homage, Baba, homage, Iba. We come to put our heads to the mat, to the foot of Orunmila for your blessing, for your guidance, for your wisdom in the new year. May you continue to bless us all in the new year. May you continue to bless us with long life, good health, prosperity, wealth, success, a local, life, that is joy, much joy in the new year. I go, Baba. There should never be a place where there is not joy in the house of Ifa. So we come to ask you for there to be joy in our lives, for there to be happiness in our lives, for there to be longevity in our lives. Palm oil and a little water. You really start with the water and a little palm oil, and then you would ask him if everything was okay. And the way that you would do that would be with a cola nut. And that would be a complete I.O.H.P.S, because now you fed Ifa, you done gave him some water, you might give him a little Epo, you might give him a little Echo, some yam, right? And then you ask them, hey, with some Obi, is this enough? Is everything good? And when you cast that Obi, that is a divination, right? And it tells you, is everything going to be good, or is there going to be a problem? Is there something else that I need to do, or is everything sweet? And for that matter, when you really learning your Ifa and you reading with a bata, you don't just get yes or no questions. You actually get a whole cast right then. You can tell it whether it's two male energies or two female energies, whether it's going to be a conflict or whether things is going to go smooth, whether the blessing is coming from heaven or whether it's a blessing that's coming from on the earth, whether it's a problem that's coming inside your house or something that's from outside your house. All of those things you can see in a cast of Obi Abata when you talking to your Ifa. This is why they say Ifa or Orunmila is the king of divination, because all of the other Orishas, when you go and you cast, you're not really getting Odu like that. You're really just getting yes or no. Okay, you get the 5 letters. So the reason why I'm asking y'all is because really when you have your hand of Ifa, it's an evolution. It's a spiritual evolution. So you might have some issue and you just getting these yes or no questions. Hey, is everything all good? Yes, no, maybe so. Can you help me fix this? Yes, no, maybe so, right? But when you get to Ifa, Ifa starts to give you the story of what's going on. Not just whether it's all good, but what the problem is or what the solution is, where it's coming from, where it may be. This is the cast. So really, when you Ifa, it gives you the information that you need in order for you to be effective. So this is really what you're supposed to be doing when you go and you Ifa. But everybody don't know all of this, and we not all practicing that on a regular basis. But if you really want to be in alignment with what you're doing, that's what you do. So on one hand, you may pick up 4 pieces of Obi and talk to Eshu, right? And make sure everything is going to be cool, no problems. But on the back end of that, you go and you talk to some Ifa and say, hey, is everything good? Because Ifa is casting for the long thing. It may be casting for your month. So maybe you talk to Eshu every week, but once a month, or really twice a month, it'll be every 16 days. You go and you feed Ifa, you Ifa, and you throw some cola nuts after you give him everything else. You give him some yam, you give him a little palm oil, you give him a little gin, you know what I'm saying? And say, hey, Ifa, is everything good? And the more we practice, the more I'm going to be able to teach all of you guys how to read this Obi, so that you can read it beyond just what a yes or no question is, that you can actually sit and look at this Obi and see what the Obi is telling you, whether what my week is going to be looking like or what the rest of my month is going to be looking like. You understand what I'm saying? And so that you get to get real familiar with who Ifa is and how Ifa works for your own evolution. Because all of y'all got Ifa more than a year, so y'all should all be working it as effectively as possible. So that's part of what we're going to be working on in this new year, is making sure that everybody has the tools that they need for their spiritual evolution. And not only do you have those tools, but that you also using those tools to actually fix your life. You feel me? Because sometimes it's easy to get away from that. Even for me, I got a lot of stuff going on. And for many years, I was not working my ultra. And life was crazy. And the moment I started really working stuff, things get smooth. And then things will get smooth and you'll forget to work it. Be like, oh, things is out. It's all good. I don't need to do this. And you get kind of get away from it, right? And so, you know, there's a saying that every time, that once you get initiated as a priest, every day after that, you're responsible for reinitiating yourself. That the initiation doesn't stop the day that you walk out of the Igbo do. And it don't stop the first day on your 366th day. They tell you, oh, I come out of my Yahoo year, now I'm a priest. Nah, you reinitiate yourself every day. And these are the things that you do. That's what it actually means to do that, not just to say it. But what does that actually mean when I'm doing this on a regular basis? So for me, I do this, what I'm about to do in front of y'all on a regular basis. This is my everyday protocol for the most part, right? And as an I.O.H.P.S, I also don't just read with Abada, I read with Opele, because that's the premise of a Bible hour. And we read with the king. So the divination we're going to do here is going to be with the king. But before that, y'all going to see me open up my Opele, because I don't do most of this for y'all all the time. Usually I get all of this done before y'all even get here so that we can just run the gamut, right? And I actually did that already this morning, but I think for the sake of what we're doing, it's important for us to be able to pick up these different things from each other. I go Ifa. Ile Ire Ifa, any and all these names I have not mentioned, but the children that we lay with, Kosi Ifa, Kosi I, Kosi Oka, Kosi Chepe, Kosi Eva, Kosi Eda, Kosi Wahala, Kosi Asian, Kosi Cookie Bro, Kosi Ali, Kosi Bobo, Ara, Yeti, Kosi Leo, Moe, Maya, Kosi Kosi I did it, I Kuba, Kosi get out from the head of Uncle, Kosi get out from the head of Kosi get out from the head of Jeremiah, Kosi get out from the head of Cody Matthew, Kosi get out from the head of anybody I'm leaving out. You know, all the people that's in prison, you know, only the president. I'm the one that can't pay. Go see me out from the head of Rodriguez Knight. Go see me out from the head of, say who? I did. Oh, that was the first, that's my first one. That's my first one here. So, go see me out from the head of, come to Ifa, who assists that shit. Look at a little calculate, woman calculate, woman calculate, Emma calculate, or Queen calculate, I didn't calculate, it boy, boy, you calculate. We shall go share, or they are sharing. We shall go share, be a little bit of my share. We shall go share, be a bit of my share. We shall go share, and like buy boy, and like buy share. Or go share, just share. I go Ifa. Maybe get you a little money, lady pay for local to that. I really not, but I go Baba, we say, oh, root ras today. Fadio.
I go share.
Fadio. Says Oshe Saache, so it says. These Opele had the sun rolls today, so this is the ones that we'll use later on to verify that everything that we use is good. So Opele has been opened up for the day. And we can proceed. All right. So the thing that I find out, he says, you know, when you say things out loud, is you manifest it in the world, right? So you get to this point when you start really like learning your Ijuba and you start learning these prayers and there's certain things that you ask for because you ask for them over and over and over again. When you say them, you don't even realize sometimes that you're asking for these things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So then when that happens, you be surprised, like, damn, why is your life going so good? Like, man, you've been asking for this thing over and over and over again. That's the reason why it happened. You forgot that you was asking for money all the time, or blessings all the time, or happiness all the time, or joy all the time.
You setting it up the way I type it.
I've been all. You want to do the call?
Yep.
Akala.
Yep.
Baba, you ready to go? Is it speaking? Let me know. Give me the signal.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go.
Baba, hey, yo, man, akala wo.
Akala wo. Akala wo.
Baba, akala wo.
Irete Otura.
Irete Alara.
Irete
That's
Alara.
actually that's a good money on dude.
I'm saying that. That's
good
it.
money on dude.
Irete Alara. It's Irete Otura.
Those are the two that I had in my head.
Yeah.
Court cases, just court cases with debts and shit. So people that
Well, not court cases. It's Ija and Ofo. So it's fights and fights and loss.
I just feel like it's like the same money. Remember we had one was just like fights with money or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it Gundameji?
Yeah, it was a Gundameji.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like it's something in that.
Yeah. Well, I go.
I know. Let's see.
Yeah. I.O.H.P.S. The year 2024. Ifario. That's Ikashe, Ifario, Ikashe, Irete, that's Irete Owani. So it says Ija.
So
that's fights.
Fights.
That's essentially fights, arguments, blockages. So, what it says is obviously make it both so that you are not in conflict with people to avoid the conflict so that you can avoid the blockage. You know what I mean? And so that means that like, when it tells you that a fight is coming, you know what I'm saying? So essentially to be prepared for the fight so that you will overcome the obstacle so that the obstacle don't overcome you, right?
What's the court case one though? What's the word for court cases?
Ejo.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Switched up. Yeah. All right. Nice little Osai Meji is fucking
Benny.
Put your life in disorder.
Back up.
So you can put it back in order.
So what does it say? It said Ija, right? I go Ifa. Onishegun Rumila. Ifario. Obalagunda. Ifario. Ogunda Wori Ache. It says Onishe is that Orumila will be the Orisha to take care to ensure that we overcome the enemy or the obstacle, which we already kind of knew because it was Irete Otura, but it's always good to
get that second
to make sure of what it is. I go Ifa. So as things are always kismet, Ebo Aonko Eshu Ati Ele Ifa. Is this Bobo Dada to remove the Ayewa Ija from the path for those who make the abode this year. Ifario. Iwori Ogunda. Ifario. Otureyeku Ache. It says that is a yes. Ago Ifa is this Bobo Dada for the mass ebo individual bow for folks to make in order to receive Opolopo Ide as we go into 2024. Ifario. Says Ika Obey.
Ikani Lobe.
Ifario. Says Okanaka. No. I was trying to shortcut it for everybody to see if we could make the mass vote for the world, but it says no. People gonna have to do some individual things. Before we proceed, you got the markings for it. I'm gonna let the I.O.H.P.S kind of talk on the Odu. I'm gonna do a little research for the Odu. We can all probably speak on this a good deal because it's an Odu that we're all kind of familiar with because we know some of these letters very well. But I'm gonna let the I.O.H.P.S speak on
this. This came up. So this came up for when we did an assembly.
Yeah.
So at first, when first seeing it, I was like, all right, what the hell we got going on here? It's kind of a spicy old dude, but the things that it comes with, so I'll start here with this particular West name, so we can just talk about Ifa da boko vede no ko vede kun. Irete otura lo fun abawase okumeta ngelete erugbo bodo jimefa adifa fun mila ti o so ko fararo eboni wo ni ko se o si bebo berubo tani yoba mikule temi gba omida enka sai ba mikule the solid tree ropes, heavy 6 loaves that weigh, cast divination for Rumila on the day he was going to learn what he knows best. He was asked to make sacrifice and complied. Now, what will bring me the things I need? The water is going to bring me what I need. So, in this particular first message in this Odu is, Ifa wishes you not to drink anything that people offer you to drink because you may get poisoned. Says that there are people trying to hurt you, but that they will not succeed in their intentions. So I take that to expand that to parties and being aware of who you're around. You know what I'm saying? Being handed. Now we always see that in the Lukumio dudes, like don't let anybody hand you a drink that's open. It's like, nah, you get your own drinks. You know what I'm saying? And watch what people are serving you where you're at. Also, Ifa says, I'm gonna chant the verses, but Ifa says that you have to be very cautious with the things that you are doing, especially with the women, so you do not find yourself in difficult situations. So, I mean, this is one of those keep your head on the swivel old dudes. You know what I'm saying? Measure your steps. Like, if you were careless, you know how you get careless sometimes, especially when things are going fast. This is not the time to be careless. This is the time to, I like to say, measure twice and cut once. If I wish you good luck for having us. So there's some children, there's some babies. This is some children, but those who want to have children or are planning that need to make it a ball. Ifa says you are a person who is behaving hypocritically and acting like you got 2 personalities. Ifa says you're with 2 people at once. Ifa says you should make sacrifice, should offer sacrifice, so you do not make the same mistakes that you have committed that can bring great misfortune. Also, it says to forgive your spouse. So your husband or wife or spouses or marital relations or whatever, this is the time for forgiveness. But this is one of those things where, you know how you be saying, there's a teapot calling the kettle black. We all have to look for that inside ourselves.
Right.
You know, where we're not congruent on what our thoughts, actions, and words is matching up. So it's time to become of singular mind. And be careful that what you're dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? No, make sure that you're not the one that's circumventing what you said before, or, you know, acting bipolar sometimes in situations. This is Dre. You answer? Is he on his way?
Yeah, you can answer. You can try to. Did you want to speak on it? Or you want me to?
I'm just gonna say a little bit. This is an Odu where a person can easily lose their crown because they have not fulfilled what they said they were going to fulfill. Right? And to piggyback off what was saying, yes, you have to be careful around obedience. Again, you can't be promising and trying to be a player because it looks good in the beginning, but in the end, rah, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, you'll be called to accountability.
Right, you know, and people that were looking forward to working with you before will no longer, because your name is shit in the community. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say right now.
So when talking about unveil, right, which is this Odu, not unveil, Irete Otura. In this story, one of the stories in this Odu is Orumila being ganged up on. And it said that, you know, he was sent to earth to do the good works. And he gets down here and he's taking care of people's problems. He's making everything work. You know, you come to him, you was married, you need to have a baby. Okay, we having babies. Oh, you was having a problem, he was assaulting you, we gonna make it both. And the problem was that he was doing his work so good that he was making the other owls look bad. Says you down here and you interrupted our money. Says this is an Odu of the martyr. O.H.P.S, right? And so this talks about the Orumila comes and he comes to Earth, and then as he's doing his work, they all gang on him. They go to Olodumare and say, hey, you know, your man down here, and he's messing stuff up. He's giving us problems. And they try to gang up on him to send him back to heaven before his time, even though he was down here trying to do the good works. Okay? So it says that you have to be careful that you don't become the martyr, right? And that for the favors and the things that you do, that you don't create a situation where people try to gang up on you and take you out, right? And what's the Christian side saying? God forgave he left his only begotten son. It says it's easy this year to think that you're doing a good thing, to be helping out, to be doing a favor for somebody, but you actually, it ends up causing you a problem, right? And that's not to say that you can't do no favors for anybody, but you gotta be careful in the way that you move so that you don't are not creating enemies. So this ain't necessarily gonna be the year to oh, look at me, I'm the person that's helping out everybody, because it could cause you a issue. I won't.
Another thing about go ahead.
See, this is very 2023 was the year that I really saw the saying, no good deed goes unpunished. Because I tried to help out a priest friend of mine, and he was stealing from me, doing all kinds of shit. I'm still finding shit missing
now to this day, yeah.
You know, so it's a cautious warning.
Ben. And so this is with the support of Odus, with the Obeo Fun, and with the Osai Meiji. It talks about witchcraft. It talks about people casting things, casting either witchcraft or casting, throwing curses in order to create problems for people, because this person is out here trying to, you think you're doing the greatest thing in the world. I'm just really trying to be a good person and be on my thing and help out the world. Who can be mad at me? I'm just doing the right thing. And meanwhile, somebody wants to come up and knock you upside the back of your head. And then you wonder why, but I'm just doing the good things in the world. I don't understand. And so this says that you have to be aware. So this is one of the reasons why it obviously says to make it bold, so that when the obstacle comes, when the fight comes, that you overcome the fight. It says because Orumila eats up witchcraft. Ifa eats up witchcraft, which is why it's going to be important and incumbent in order to make it bold, to prevent that from being the situation. Yeah, you can do the good things, you can do the wonderful, you can bring the light to the world, but so that you don't get knocked off for fulfilling your destiny, for being a good person in the world, that's where the abode kind of comes in. Now, with this also, you know, this is Irete Otura. This says this is an Odu that's full of prosperity. Irete brings the Ire, literally. It scrapes the blessings. Otura is the Odu where things come from heaven, where the blessings come from heaven. So this is one of those Odus that says it's going to be very, very important, if for nothing else, be in alignment with Orumila, because these are the two letters of Orumila. Irete is the letter of Orumila, Otura is the letter of Orumila, and we got Irete and Otura together that's ruling the year. So this is going to be a real big year for Ifa worship and Ifa practice and being close, and what we were talking about earlier, learning how to Oshe Ifa. Specifically, this is where it's going to be, where that's coming in to be representative. So even where they're both saying, all right, cool, we can make this a bow here. We're going to feed Eshu his goat. We're going to feed Ifa his pig. We're going to bring the prosperity in the Ire. But you have to also make sure that you are hands-on working with your Ifa, because working with Ifa is what's going to help to keep whatever witchcraft and all of its force coming. Because like you got Obeo Fun, we talk about the compendium on Odu. It's the very first Odu and the very last Odu, Ogbe and Ofun. And Ofun is where they say the curse is born, okay? So this says that they can throw everything at the sun at you. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you are on point, then you should still be able to be successful and overcome whatever that particular enemy is. Whatever witchcraft they throw at you, Osai Meiji is the head of the witches, is the head of witchcraft. Is where I'm saying Ofun is curses, Osai is witchcraft. So it's like curses and witchcraft on both sides. But as long as y'all are working with Ifa, specifically, it's like Ifa is gonna eat up the witchcraft and Ifa is gonna eat up the curses. So that's gonna be very prevalent to be, and then you look at the numbers for the year. The numbers for the year is 2024. That's 8. That's the E5 number. And then I'm also gonna look at it. It also looks like Obatala and Oya are also speaking in this Odu this year. So we can't jump over the fact that if you see Obefun, that means that this is the Odu that's like the king of whiteness, that Obatala is speaking. And so that Obatala, that we need to be working with Obatala to keep our heads covered and to keep our minds pure, essentially, as much as possible, to keep your mind clear and to make sure that things are organized so that you can make everything go well. It needs to be very careful drinking, very careful with alcohol, and not being drunk or too inebriated, because Obatala is that Orisha that says have a pure mind. In other words, don't cloud your mind, don't cloud your Orisha, that the things that you're doing, that you'll be very effective in it. And then, with the Osai Meiji, as much as there's witchcraft in there, also comes prosperity and quick money. Osai Meiji brings money very, very fast, which means that this is also going to be a good year for commerce. This is going to be a good year for business. It's Oya who owns the marketplace. It's Oya who owns the commerce and money going back and forth. So this is going to be a year where if you want to find prosperity in business, this is going to be a good year for that to push forward, so that you can see the income coming in for that.
But also too, don't be afraid. This is, every time I see Osai Meiji, it's one of those things. It's like, where do you stand in the eye of the tornado? Because the perspective is gonna dictate how you come out on the other end. Osai Meiji is kind of unforgiving in terms of the change that it causes in your life. It's chaotic. I read my father. Yeah. He didn't have Osai Meiji, but he had 2 legs of Osai. So one is Ejiobe with witchcraft, but also 2 legs of Osai. So it's like, shit just literally burnt down your fucking house, and then we raised X amount of dollars for you to go do whatever you do. Right. In one tragic situation, there's a windfall.
Right, because Osai Meiji removes the things that don't need to be there.
So that's one thing you have to understand. So you have to, if you see it coming, if you feel it, don't always submit to it in terms of like, oh, my life is over, it's gonna da-da-da-da. It may be something on the other side that's getting ready to be replace whatever you think you're losing. But that's the
you also talk to, well, it's like it teaches you the lesson. Pay attention, or something fucked up gonna happen, because it's like you said, it's a fast moving Odu, and you must give the utmost respect to the Iyami.
Ashe.
Hence why I was talking about the women and the way you talk, speak, interface, interact, your wives.
Right.
Like, y'all gotta,
Definitely says be careful of the of dealing with the obedient, which is the women, not to be doing things that are untoward. You know what I'm saying? Not to be trying to take advantage of them. Not to be doing anything that you don't want to be known in public. Don't do it. You know what I mean? And because you really run the risk of cursing yourself. Like this talks about Obefun and Osai Meiji. I'm telling you, this is curses and witchcraft. So it says be very careful with the women. That includes women with women. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean women that necessarily like women, but just understand that another woman that you're dealing with can cause you a problem, or can end up being the fight, or throwing the witchcraft at you. So it says to be careful around your dealings with females. Okay?
Also, just as a quick note for Otura, you're always, whenever time Otura falls, watch your mouth. Watch what you're saying.
Ashe.
There's multiple stories in Otura Meiji. I always say this. They talk about somebody, basically their own mouth being the death of them. You be very careful what you're saying.
Ashe.
Yeah, like literally.
Like you have to be, because and it's the same thing. Like Otura is always, to me, always represents the Odu of the martyr. Right, y'all know what a martyr is?
Yeah.
Right? The martyr is the person that sacrificed himself.
Yes, right.
Right? And so this is the martyr is the person that is a heavenly person, right? Essentially, because Twitter deals with things that are going on in heaven. And so a lot of times it's the representation of the priest or the monk or the nun or the person that gives of themselves in order to help other people. Even if it's if it was Jesus, I gave of myself to wash away the sins of all the people. It said Joey Soon was in on Twitter. It says that he didn't make it bow, and so he ended up being the bow. That's what they're talking about, right? But the thing about that is just that is through your own mouth that the martyr actually reveals himself and gets killed, right? It says because you was trying to help the world, and the world didn't necessarily want to be helped.
Not your job.
It's like,
it's not your
right? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch what you say so that you don't create that situation. And so we all need to really, really keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying, as we go, because it can be easy to forget that that's the circumstances, and you just trying to, I'm just trying to be a good person. Why am I having all of these problems? I don't understand.
No, it doesn't matter. The problem, I've had that before though.
So why?
I've had it. You trying to help people out, and you end up, you're like, how the hell did this turn into getting shots fired at me? I was literally stood up for somebody.
Got to keep your head on swivel with that one.
So
You got to lean heavy on Obatala. Because there's Obatala, not it was Ifa who saved Obatala from the Iami. You know? So be close, like you said.
Absolutely. So I got some other questions I want to ask. I asked if that was Boda, and it said no. So let's see. I go Ifa. Do we need to make a bow? A J Bale for Obatala Ati the Iami. Ifario. That says that's Obataka. That's my issue. Ifario. Says Okanafun. It says yes. I go Obatala Obasaye Babafuru. Will you take a bow of 3 Eniadi Funfun Ati the entrails to go to the Iami. This is Bobodada. Ifario. Irete di. Ifario. Ofun Rosso. No. I go Ifa. I go Batala where you take Mede Eniadi Funfun for Batala Ati the I.O.H.P.S to go to the Iami Ati. Leave it at that. Fadio.
Thank you.
Says Oturupon Obey. Ifadio.
Today.
Oturupon Obey. That's Ofun Shay. No, okay. I go Batala Babafuru. Do you require a ball, uncle? Ifario.
It
says Owani Iwodi. Ifario. Yeah, it says Okana Idete. So it says Obatala wants a goat.
Ta-da!
I go Ifa is this Bobodada. Ifario. Odishe. Ifario. Odishe. Obeg. No. Okay, I go Baba. Is it the Oka Aonko Ati any of the Meiji Funfun Ati the I.O.H.P.S to go to the Iami at a 3-way with the Bozo. Ifario. Okay, what's that? Ofun Woody. Ifario. Iwodi, that's Iwodi Casa, no? I go Ifa. Do we also need to feed Yansa and the I.O.H.P.S go to the I.O.H.P.S. Ifario. Huh. Oyeku Oturupon. Ifario.
I.O.H.P.S.
Odi. Yeah. Odi. Yeah, says Steve. I go outside and take that bowl of any ati meji. I did the I.O.H.P.S to go to the I.O.H.P.S. Ifario.
I.O.H.P.S.
Or to the Shay. Ifario.
I.O.H.P.S.
Irete Owani says I.O.H.P.S. Alright, so Oya takes 2 hens.
Okay.
And the I.O.H.P.S go to the witches. I go Ifa is this Bobo Dada for the Ebo to remove any Ayewa. Ija Ati bringing the E-Ray for the year of 2024. Ifario.
I.O.H.P.S.
Says Owani Otura. Ifario. Ache Irete Okara. Ache. So that's the Ebo. So what we got? We got
2 hands for Oya. Obatala wants to go. The I.O.H.P.S goes to the witches.
the I.O.H.P.S not of the goat. The I.O.H.P.S of the birds go to the witches.
Mm-hmm.
The I.O.H.P.S of the goat. I mean,
The Yanle? The Yanle?
Of the goat.
Yeah, the Yanle.
I mean, you can do that shit. Go
Yeah,
too.
we can do the I.O.H.P.S of the goat.
Well, I'm just asking.
We got. I know we can bust it down.
Yeah.
Yo, we can bust this shit down in like 15 minutes.
So, you know who I need to figure out if we got somebody that can butcher that other day.
I don't know if you can butcher it. I mean, you more been doing goats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, what I'm thinking, but can we find a butcher that we can take it to butcher it?
You make a call.
Yeah, just...
I'll call.
Because that would be a waste. It's a huge hog that we're doing. So...
Big one?
It's a, it's a huge one that's really fat.
Another monster.
So, are you going to be here for the New Year's, Ebo?
I'll be on
You going to be here?
Zoom call.
Good. So I'm tapping y'all in for y'all assistance to help me hold this
Oh
pig.
my God.
Yeah. I'm telling you now. Because I'm going to need
20
about
people
4
on the
y'all,
last
boy.
time.
That
He
shit
was
is
going
like,
crazy.
he ain't got no neck. So,
He ain't got no neck.
I mean, the last thing I get, they can do this, but they just, it's hard. It ain't like a goat, bro.
Dinosaur.
It's not.
Yeah, I was there. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like Timon.
Oh my God.
Or maybe Pumbaa. Which one was it?
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa. It looked like Pumbaa. That's what it, yeah. So.
And like.
You're going to kill Arnold?
No.
Yeah. Well, he ain't Arnold. He's mean, apparently. He's ready to go. He's killing piglets and whatnot.
You ain't talking about pig. I think you're talking about a boar.
A wild, like a wild boar.
It's da-da-da-da-da.
He got the hood.
I didn't see the
I want the teeth.
Yeah, and the last time we should have.
He bit somebody last time, didn't he?
The last time.
You need some gloves, probably.
I don't
want to be out there.
Well, nah, we're going to make sure we got some good rope. Yeah, we got to get the good rope, the skinny, strong rope. And you got to tie them legs and then tie, and then we go.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to hog tie him. Exactly. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to
You ready?
hog tie dog.
Oh yeah, we learned last time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Oh my God.
You gonna learn today.
So, but just to say, you don't really see this particular ebo very often. I'm actually kind of surprised that we're doing it again this soon. However, I don't. Whoever was here that year, y'all. I don't know if y'all felt it the same way we felt it, but the money that year.
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I'm just talking about like. Yeah. It was money coming in that I wasn't even like.
I need
that particular year. It was just money.
Somebody just send you money.
Yeah, it'd be like, I was like, where this come from? It was just hitting like that. So all I'm saying is, if you got Ifa, I would suggest that you have your Ifa here at this now. And this is like even the people who didn't have Ifa, whose Ifa didn't get fed the pig, but everybody that just participated in the abode seemed to really get the juice up in terms of finances that year. You know what I mean? So like, if you got your Ifa, it should just be that much more effective. And the fact that Ifa doesn't generally be like, this is something that happens very, very rarely that you feed Ifa a pig. It's generally a goat or some hens. But if you get in a pig, they come in,
So Baba,
yes.
the easy way to kill it, the way my grandpa killed it, He hog ties him, then he hangs him upside down.
Okay.
And then you just cut the throat.
That makes sense.
Hang upside down from where?
Right.
So like literally rope that thing up. Okay.
Yeah, he would rope him over the tree and tie him.
Your people from Jamaica, right? Where you people from?
No, it's my granddaddy I'm talking about.
From here in the States?
From Texas, yeah.
Well, he's from Texas though. It's not even a state. That's like its own country. You think he'll call you? You think he'll get on the phone real quick?
Get him on the phone for what?
Ask him how to do that.
You just told him.
He can't hear too well. He's 101.
Oh shit!
But
I'm old school dude.
I can call him. Just gotta yell.
Well, that killing pigs worked for him.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't eating it. He was selling it.
It worked.
Exactly.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. So, I think this is we're good. Anybody got any questions? No.
If I got a question.
Yes, sir.
For the people in your temple that need to make Ifa, I think this is it's a question and statement, but I think this is the year.
Yeah.
They would have doubled down to be like, this is something I'm gonna really make a leap in an effort towards.
Absolutely.
This is the year to be like, set your intentions towards making Ifa, because it's only going to take your life to a whole nother level. Starting with your perspective first. But like this is the year to be like, all right, nigga, it's time. This is, if you've been waiting, because you don't really mark a time date for people to really get. It's like when they get ready. So,
but going forward, actually, this is one of the things I was talking to Jackie. So before we get to the year ends it all, I'm actually mapping out the entire year. Like I'm calendaring out the year and gonna put it up on the calendar so people will know ahead of time and that's not saying that we won't be able to do some hand of E5s in between that, but I'm mapping out 4 large hand of E5s. I'm mapping out the Lake ceremonies for this year, mapping out the local retreat. The date has already been pulled. It's the we're gonna do it April 17th to the 20th. Flying on April 17th, fly out on the 21st. Already got the spot reserved, all of those good things. We pushing forward to give people as much time as possible to decide this is what I want to do and to get in line so that they can make the adjustments that they need to make to do that. So me and you would talk, because I'm sure we're going to need to do more than 4 hand of E5 ceremonies throughout the year. But at least those ones will be on the calendar, and like bang, we know that you can put your money inside and you can get ready so that you can make that happen. And then I was doing that because also in this year there's going to be full initiations going on.
That's what I was.
That's what I'm saying. And so this is giving us the infrastructure to know. All right, this is the time frame, and this is what we're going to be able to go on and make these I.O.H.P.S, get this Ifa made. If you coming to make Ifa, if you coming to make Orisha, the infrastructure and the space and the place and all of that is now here, so we can do that. All right. So. Man, I want to thank all of you guys for coming and participating. You can't do a reading for the town if the town ain't here. I will.
Okay, I just want to stress this. We didn't say too much about it, but stay on top of your egun.
Ache.
Okay? Because they watching all the shit we do.
Ache. Absolutely. That, he's right. We can't jump over the importance of that. And even just looking at the letters, once again, the Irete Otura, very, very heavy letter that deals with Egun and deals with the elevated ancestors, not just the ones whose names that we know, but those that exist in heaven, that are our line, that are the ones that are watching over us. This is also an Odu that deals really heavily with Egbe, right? So for a lot of us, if you're not familiar with Egbe is your heavenly friends. The way we deal with that at this time right now tends to be working with our Boveda. Unless you actually, because Egbe is really an Orisha, but without having an Orisha Egbe, when you're working with your Boveda, what you're working with is what you consider your spiritual court, right? So these are those ancestors and spirits whose names that are the names that you call them when you up there, my grandma and grandpa and auntie and uncle and so forth and so on. But these are also the spiritual court, those whose names you don't know. Those are who your aides, your guides and protections, whether they related to you natally or not. That's really what the Boveda represents. So this is going to be a year that is going to be very, very important to stay up on your spiritual awareness, because on one hand, it's talking about witchcraft. That's Ogbefun. On the other hand, Osameji is talking about negative spirits, okay, and witchcraft and that. So this is definitely a letter that is talking about making sure that we are in alignment and working with our ancestors and with our eagles. Even when we go to take the abode to the Iami, that's also feeding Egun, because the Iami is literally that is our mothers. And so we may look at them as the witches, but really these are the ancestral mothers that we want to make sure that we're in alignment with, that we're not offending them, so that we're not causing curses and problems for ourselves. How do you offend the Iami? Sometimes it's by actual person that's on the earth, that's the Iami, and they may have guides and spirits or protections that's around, but sometimes it's really in our actions, in our character. The whole purpose of the Iami was that the Iami saw the things that we did that nobody else saw, and the things that we thought you got away with. It was the birds and the trees, them ancestral mothers that saw you and still put the curse on you. That's how the original curse got started. So the thing is, it's still one of those things that say, remember to continue to have high moral character and high moral fiber. And just because you think that somebody don't see what you're doing, don't mean that something don't see what you're doing, and there won't be repercussions to it. You see what I'm saying? And so that these are those letters that represent that particular kind of energy. And so, like, all right, just make sure that you aware and that you are paying homage and you taking care of that energy. I will.
And then to just one step up from that is really your spiritual discipline.
I say
everything that you just saw, like, that's what you do every morning. That's what I was mandated to do every morning when I asked Ifa. I told you about this on the assembly. When I asked Ifa, what the hell, why is shit so wonky? He said, you just ask up and pray and show some gratitude every day. But it wasn't every day. But in there's more forever. But it also too, the showing of gratitude also alters your own internal, emotional, and mental state too. Something about that frequency of, even if you gotta force the shit to get up and be like, thank you. But I'm like, I feel like shit, but thank you. Does something turn. So every day that I saw benefits, not necessarily like, oh shit, you won the lottery, but I saw that I felt better, and as a result of feeling better, things
went better.
Perspective better things came when I needed them, etc. So,
Blue like light.
Oh.
So make sure you note that in for the notes about making sure that Egun is taken care of and the Iamis are taken care of, because that's really, really important in Osameji, is to make sure that the ancestors are appeased and that they're taken care of.
But I thought, is it
No.
Oh.
All right.